Hello, Dota2 fans! This is Chicago Ted coming back to you for the Game 2 of Say No to Meepo versus Magnus Opus. I had to miss Game 1 on account of Game 2 for a separate game. So these two teams are both new to me, and I'm excited to join them as they promised me. Game 1 was a very close game. If I remember correctly, Magnus Opus did end up taking the first one. So right as soon as I get the audio back up, for this for Dota 2, I will put you guys into the draft with me. Here we go. There we are. So, isn't that a new sight? We see Nyx and Lifestealer both banned out. Awesome. Nyx, Lifestealer, and Wisp. Oh man, the big three, guys, the big three. The big four, sorry. The big four. So, hate to say it, but nothing new here. I believe I've commented on this so much that I'll just leave it to memory here as we wait for the picks to come out. So, for those who don't know me, for those just joining, this is Chicago Ted casting with Statsman Sir Rabbit Koala, who's going to be dropping in the quick little stats up on the pop-up as the game goes on. Not much of a talker, but one hell of a thinker. And this is Game 2, again, between Magnus Opus and Say No to Meepo. Weaver and Darkseer coming out against the Treant Protector. What do I think about this? Well, I'll tell you. Darkseer. Well, let's go on him since I've talked about him so much already tonight. He's got great teamfight control. Sits pretty well in an off lane, a good escape mechanism, quite tanky, he's got good skills, and overall a hero that's generally effective from minute 1 until the end, although doesn't really get his kills unless he's got help. Giving a Darkseer solo kills like we saw in the last game can amount to some heavy disadvantage that you don't want to be in. A Weaver, a snowballing hero that, again, both of them are off-laner heroes, but Weaver, more flexible, can be played in the safe lane, or if he's off-lane, Darkseer might see the jungle. Say no to Meepo, picking up the Treant and the Magnus. Treant, good at keeping his team alive, got great spells to heal up teammates, heal up towers. It takes 4 hits at level 1 before it goes away, and overall, it's just a really good anti-gank and really good survivability, and basically free tangos for your team. Magnus, a free Battle Fury. In fact, a little bit better than a free Battle Fury with his Empower. And an overall, a good team fight hero, got his RP, which did get his damage nerfed, but still very good at keeping everyone stunned, getting them together, and allowing your team to do quite well. Is actually a fairly good pick versus a Weaver, as one of the Weaver's main skills is to be able to Sakuchi away. And if he's stunned out from the Magnus, pulled into a predictable spot, maybe an overgrowth. I mean, a Weaver can probably time-lapse out the overgrowth, but if you can burst him down inside that RP, you've got a good chance of taking him down before the time-lapse comes out and the Weaver doesn't get away alive, which is something that you really need. Templar Assassin, Queen of Pain, both being banned out from Say No to Meepo, focusing on the mid bans, while Magnus OP taking out the Gyro and the Lone Druid. Gyro late game from his damage, team wide, while Lone Druid late game for his damage, purely out of stuns, overgrowth, and a bear that hits like a truck. So both teams having different strategies for what they're banning out after, again, the big four, which, if any other hero, I guess, gets banned out other than the big four in one of these games, I will go ahead and eat my headset. That's not serious. I don't want to promise anything right now, but still, Rubik coming out for Magnus Opus, not the hero that you want against this Magnus, as can take that RP and use it against them, can take that overgrowth and use it against them. And overall, really good at taking those big team fight abilities and turning them around and making you eat them. So a pretty strong draft from Magnus Opus in terms of individual play And with that Rubik pickup, it's going to turn it into a little bit of a more team fight oriented play, as if he can pick up the RP, again, if he can pick up the RP or Overgrowth, pulls in that team fight. Sato and Meepo, though, just stacking on that stun and that damage. The RP, into the ice wall, into the macro pyre. That's a lot of damage. And that's good stuff to have. And still, though, that's more spells for the Rubik to pick up. And if the Rubik is on top of things, they're gonna come your way, and it's not gonna be fun. Especially with a Weaver. Weaving in and out, dropping tons of damage if he can get farmed, and with an Ion Shell just being an absolute pain in the neck. Fourth picks coming out for both teams. Still could do pretty much anything. I would imagine Magnus Opus would go for either a mid hero or a second tri-laning hero if they're lane how I think they're going to lane. And that's Weaver safe lane in the tri-lane with a Darkseer solo off and the mid. Although it could be going for a jungler, and I wouldn't put it past them to. Anything can really happen. Sato and Meepo definitely going to run Jakir and Treant Protector in a tri-lane with Magnus mid. Going to pick up an off-laner and a safe laner. Or they could run a two-run pub style 2-1-2. Magnus Opus, though, going to pick up the second support and definitely going to run a tri-lane. All in all, Magnus Opus keeping their power in a pretty good place. They've got a lot of heroes that are fairly effective throughout the game. And unless Sato and Meepo pick up a real hard carry, like an Animage, like an Alchemist, I imagine the Animage would be one of the better choices, but instead, they go for the Phantom Assassin. Put this one in the record books, folks. I don't think I've ever seen Phantom Assassin or Dazzle. But then again, I haven't been casting these games too long. So we're going to see a lane with a Phantom Assassin, a Jakiro, and a Treant Protector. Again, unless they 2-1-2, but I highly doubt it's going to happen. Magnus mid, and then all they got to do is pick up an offlaner, maybe in the form of a Bounty Hunter. Meanwhile, Magnus Opus are going to go for the Weaver, Rubik, Dazzle, where you got the stun from the Weaver, or the slow from the Weaver turning into a stun. The disruption from the Rubik, and Weaver just walking in and out and doing a great job at getting damage out, getting harassment out. Spectre being banned out from Magnus Opus. I imagine that's a pretty wasted ban, as I don't really see any room for a Spectre and Sato and Meepo's lineup. Of course, I mentioned how Sato and Meepo can really counter Magnus Opus with a really hard carry. And Spectre is not entirely... Well, I mean, okay. Spectre is the hardest carry in the game. But with Phantom Assassin on the board, I don't think they're going to go that route. Sato and Meepo, that is. Kunkka banned out. Magnus Opus is going to pick up a mid. Of course, they could be running the Rubik mid. Weaver in the safe lane with Dazzle and another support. But I imagine either pick up the mid or pick up the hard carry. Okay. It looks like we're going to see a Weaver in the off lane, a Rubik in the mid lane, Darkseer jungling, with a Dazzle Sven in the safe lane. That sounds about right. I'm going to bank on that being the case, because I really don't see anywhere else where these heroes can lane. Hello, Ace Killer! What's up? You were sent here by Hagain. This is Chicago Ted, casting a game between Magnus Opus and Sato and Meepo. This is a Reddit Dota 2 League official game, and this is game 2 of the series. Magnus Opus are up 1, and these are best of 2. It's a point-based system to go into the season. the group stage of the season. Magnus Opus looking to make this 2-0 with some pretty crazy lanes, it looks like. And Sado to Meepo picking up their last. They're ducking into reserve time. What are they going to pick up? I really am. They pick up the Warlock. Okay. So Sado to Meepo. Magnus mid. I don't know. Magnus mid. Phantom Assassin off lane? Treant solo safe with Jakiro and Warlock in an offensive tri-lane? Maybe? These are really screwed up off lanes going on. And I'm just excited to see how this is going to turn out. I'm really excited. This isn't as clean-cut laning as it was last game, so some pretty heavy stuff going to come out in this game 2 of Magnus Opus versus Sado to Meepo. So let's introduce the players. We got Acer Veneer out on the Sven. Have No Fear on the Weaver. Mustache playing Dazzle. Broodwitch on the Darkseer. And Salvation, or Salvatin, on the Rubik. Meanwhile, in Sado to Meepo, we got Renegade playing Warlock. Octahob on Jakiro. Brewman playing the Phantom Assassin with one hell of a knife she's got there. And Magnus getting those RPs with Dracula and Treant Protector being played by Brozu. So Treant sitting in the off lane. Like, already I'm wrong. Already I'm wrong. Would you look at that? So it's going to be a PA, Jakiro, Warlock safe lane. As stated by the Gopher. I give props to you, man. Magnus in the mid lane. And it looks like Treant Protector is going to off lane. Meanwhile, Dazzle and Sven and Rubik sitting in the safe lane. Weaver gonna play the mid. And Darkseer off laning. So I was looking at a completely wrong laning phase, but you know what? This is what's good about these games. They broaden your horizons, introduce you to new things, and all in all, have some insane games. And it looks like the count award on the place where almost no one places a ward, but Magnus picking up the double damage rune. And two really good lane controlling wards coming out from the Dire team as they ward out past the lane onto the river, getting them the location of wherever the Treant Protector is going to be at all times, allowing them to try to secure easy kills. Meanwhile, Darkseer not making any attempt to block the pole camp against this tri-lane. It looks like they're going to catch out Treant. He's going to be wildly out of position as he's sitting deep into the jungle here. Getting back behind both heroes. Dazzle could cut him off if they know he's there. No, he's going to go in. Get a sneaky ward on the pole camp. It doesn't look like they do have one sentry ward, so they're going to go ahead and try to de-ward that as soon as possible. They spot out the Treant Protector. They could go on a mid if they want, but I don't think Weaver has quite the damage to do so yet. Jakiro, level 1 in Ice Path, but aside from that, nothing else. It looks like we have a DC right now, so we're going to give this a quick pause. Again, I want to shout. I can't shout out at him enough. Corey, thank you from the OBS forums for helping me fix the crashing issue that I had the other day. If for those of you who weren't joining me that time, it was crashing nearly every 5 to 10 seconds, and it was not too enjoyable for my Twitch listeners. So tonight, it has been fixed, and it's doing quite well, so we're going to look forward to a nice and smooth game. This is the second game I'm casting tonight, so naturally I'm going to be a little bit tired, but I'm going to try to bring to you as best of a game as possible. So, Weaver, doing a really good job getting his harass down in form of the Sakuchi. But the Shockwave coming out, doing plenty of damage to him. They're going to trade off hits, and only the Magnus has the bottle. So right now, that is going to favor the Magnus pretty much. A skewer into a shockwave could be enough to just take down this Weaver. It looks like Dazzle is letting off some interesting fumes. Is it a fancy staff? Great Pipe of the Father Spirits. I've never seen that before, so a new staff for me to see. Always like checking out these cosmetic items. They all look pretty cool, Looks like a little bit of aggression coming in mid. Shockwave goes ahead and miss, and that's going to be pretty consequential for now. So it looks like Trilane, despite having a ton of stuns and a ton of slows, not netting them any kills right now. And PA getting hurt pretty badly from these ion shells. She's got to go in for the last hits. And right now her damage isn't all that great. She does have a Quelling Blade though, it's going to make it easy. And they're diving in on the tower. Sven's way out of position right now. He's going to get hit, aggroed by the tower. No, it looks like the aggro is going to fall on the creeps and he's going to walk away. Halved health and just fine. It's a little bit of aggression right there. But no TP supports coming in. He walks away just fine. And the Magnus taking lots of hits that Geminate. Doing a lot of work on him. As he's got one bottle charge to keep him up. Weaver gets out a bottle of his own. But gets canceled right at the end by the Shockwave. And they both got empty bottles. The Sven starting only with a Quelling Blade. So I imagine either an early hand of Midas or something else. He's not only got an early Quelling Blade, but he's leveling up his Great Cleave first. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with this build. Because right now with no regen, well actually, he doesn't have no regen. He's got a Shadow Wave, which is going to heal him up quite well. So interested to see what's going to happen. Magnus being healed up by his living armor. He's going to skewer in, and it looks like he's going to get the double damage rune. Barely, and one shot in on the Weaver, hitting hard. The Weaver going to scoochie the opposite way and going to walk on out of there. Weaver could have easily been in a lot of trouble had he not scoochied one more auto attack from Dracula, and it looked like it could come out right here. No, he has scoochie on cooldown. Instead, he walks right back in. Magnus doesn't have the aggression, but Weaver doesn't have the mana.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like nothing much gonna happen. Magnus really wants to go in for this. Does he know that Sakuchi isn't up for the Weaver right now? Either way, missing out on the rune, and instead of picking off last hits, the PA instead vouching to go for the harass and the Darkseer. And this Trilane, yeah, scratch that. He gets the last hits. So it looks like Sven is indeed going for the Midas. He picked up the recipe first. And he's sitting 800 gold away from that, 80 gold away from the Gloves of Haste. 25 now. He's going to be picking up a 5.5 minute hand of Midas. Something that we saw in the last game that I casted versus the Bears against, that took place the Bears versus Ozone, and it turned out to be quite a lot of help throughout the early game. So, pick up a 5.5 minute Midas. Going to give him a little bit of extra leeway in terms of gold and in terms of XP, especially in this Trilane. And use it right off the bat. So, Great Cleave, Stun, and Hand of Midas. New meta right now. Coming out from the Reddit Dota 2 League. It looks like despite having a Trilane, they don't have too much aggression right now. This is mostly defensive, guys, so it's probably not going to be netting too many kills. Meanwhile, I imagine that Magnus Opus is going to try to go in and grab a kill really soon. They don't see Brozu, though. He's got Nature's Guise. He's going to be fine for just now. And Magnus picking up an invisibility rune. He could go in. If he's got enough skewer, he could try to skewer on the tower. The wave isn't where he needs to, and he knows that he's not going to get it. The time lapse from the Weaver going to put him right back up to enough health. He's just going to sit on last hitting those creeps. So if there's anything to burn down these living armor procs, it is the Ion Shell. Not totally sure if it burns down living armor. I'm 90% sure it does, and that's going to kind of help burn through it a little bit. A nice little counter to have. A little pocket counter to have. Versus this Treon Protector. And the pings coming out on top lane. Sven almost got his hand of Midas right back up. It's in that 800 gold. Interesting to see what he's going to go for next. I imagine he's going to go for Power Treads. Or even a Drums of Endurance. Maybe even just a Bracer. Weaver sitting pretty low. They had Living Armor helping out the Magnus a lot. Canceling out a lot of that damage coming out from the Weaver's auto attacks. Especially with the Geminate. And he's level 7. He does have RP, but not the mana to spend it on. And still not enough aggression. It looks like Darkseer getting caught out by the by Jakiro, but it leaves one to wonder. Is Darkseer getting caught out, or is Jakiro the one getting caught out? Darkseer gonna walk right on out. Looks like Weaver taking a lot of damage, actually. And Magnus using his advantage to go out, pick up Arcane Boots. And all he needs is one Shockwave. If he sees the Weaver, right now this could be it. This could be it. He gets a haste rune and does not see the Weaver. And for the Twitch chat, the skin I'm using is the TI3 skin. It's the Valor HUD, and it comes with buying a compendium. So Magnus not seeing the Weaver just yet. Weaver a little bit greedy to stay out like this, and he knows that he's going to back right on out. Very, very lucky. In terms of the Weaver. He could just go ahead and buy his Ring of Health. Yeah, he does. He buys his Ring of Health. He's going to be able to regen quite fast, but not until he has to go back to spawn. If he were to show his face in lane, one well-placed Shockwave, and he's dead. Almost guaranteed. Yes, this is genuine Valor HUD. It is my favorite HUD. Honestly. A lot of people complain that it's too bright. I think not. Ulti's still not out for the Warlock, so they can't go aggressive on this Darkseer too much just yet. Magnus Opus, they've been able to go aggressive for quite some time now. Level 7, up on the Sven despite being in the tri-lane. So if they want to go for it, they can. If they want to go for it, they really should. It looks like 3 heroes rotating in. Are they gonna do it? One stun out from the Sven. That's all it's gonna take. And they're not gonna do it. Instead, they're gonna go for the tower, try to get an early tower, and back off. Meanwhile, Darkseer getting caught out. The slow, the ice path, the crit proc, and he's gonna go down to a few auto attacks. The Phantom Assassin bringing in the kill. And that's first blood. Going the way of Say No to Meepo. Phantom Assassin picking it up. So great gold for her. She's going to pick up the Ring of Health. Going to go for an early Battle Fury. 10 minutes. Already got the Ring of Health. And could pick up the Broadsword if she wanted to. I'm telling you. First Blood could have gone straight for Magnus Opus. But instead, they wasted time. And it looks like Weaver going to catch out the Magnus. But he's going to have enough Battle Charge to get right back up, and he's going to go right on in. He did use that RP, though. And it looks like he used it in an inopportune time, maybe to try to save himself. It looks like things are going to be a little bit dicey for Magnus Opus. As giving away First Blood, especially in your offlane, is not really what you want. Looks like Magnus teleporting right on in, getting proc from the tower and the Geminate. Gonna bring him down to half health almost instantly. Living Armor gonna bring him back up, and one Shockwave. The Weaver is one Shockwave away from dying. If Magnus can time it correctly, he can get the kill. And it looks like, no, the Weaver gonna Geminate, gonna Shikuchi the other way around, and he's gonna get away scot-free. Still, no aggression on Brozu. As we're 11 minutes into this game, and Sven's still without a kill. It looks like he's taking hits, and he disconnects from the game. So Sven, having a little bit of issues with this game. We're going to wait for him to come back on. Bring it over to the Twitch chat, guys. What do you guys think about the game right now? Whoever's left. Come on. All 8 of you, I know you guys can chat. Go ahead, drop me a line, ask me a question. Anything you want while Sven's out. Anything at all. Azier rages a bunch. What's the net worth at? I can tell you guys right now. Net worth individually. There we go. That took a while. Alright. Net worth right now is sitting. PA is the highest despite having the hand of Midas on the Sven. Oh wait, no, the Sven disconnected, so it's not going to show the net worth for him right now. So I can't really show you guys the true net worth until the Sven reconnects, unfortunately. But I'll get that right on up to you as soon as the game comes in. Yeah, it looks like my my statsman did calculate it out. So Sven's sitting at 4,800 right now. The goal graphs reflecting that right now. Magnus OP slightly in the lead, and that is only because we see the 5-minute Midas out on the Sven, which is this is just skyrocketing his farm. Right now, it's 11 minutes. He's got Hand of Midas, he's got Power Treads, he's got his Morbid Mask, and he's got enough to buy his Mask of Madness if he wants to go that route. I imagine, and I keep saying this, but I really feel like it's got to happen. They got to go for that first blood, or, well, first blood's been wasted. They got to go for blood on Brozu, or at least try to rotate into another lane and get a kill. Because right now, Magnus Opus, 76 last hits in the big parade. No, at 11 minutes. 76. It's really good. It's really good. And disc rules. Disconnect rules. There have been no official announcements. It's basically disconnect and wait for reconnect. If you cannot reconnect, you I think the team forfeits. I can go ahead and check that out right now for you guys. It looks like he's still disconnected. I'll keep an eye on the game. It looks like, alright. If your team's 20 minutes late, you forfeit. If neither team is ready, it doesn't look like there are any rules pertaining to a disconnect. It looks like there are no disconnect rules right now, so gonna check the comment section right now. Search up the word disconnect. Yep, there are no disconnect rules as of right now. So, guys, get out your pitchforks, go after C-Troxel, and ask for a ruling on disconnections. I'm not quite sure if there are any real save states that we can save, so you can't really delay the game. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if he can come back. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to look for anything. It looks like Sven is back. He's testing his ping right now. So we're going to get this game going really soon. Just grabbing some water before the game starts. We might need a reboot. He's going to go ahead and try it. If you're reading the chat right now, you already know this. We're going to go ahead and try. See what we can do. And it looks like Sven is okay right now. And we're going to get going. So, it could be the lack of aggression was a lack of ability by Sven to really go on anything. And it looks like Sven going to take a lot of damage with the stun. And then the ulti coming out. He's doing plenty of damage right now with the overgrowth. Going to protect the Treant Protector right now. And Sven lifestealing right back up. So without that lifesteal, he could have been in a pretty sticky situation. But able to turn it right on around. If his team had been there, That would have netted an easy kill. And Magnus going to back right on out. He's going to go for the invisibility rune. He's going to get it. Tsukushi not coming out fast enough. And the bug getting dispelled off the Magnus going invis, so. Overgrowth is off cooldown. So Sven wants to try to get... No, Sven doesn't have enough mana to go in again, so. He's going to be all good. So we're going to take a look at the gold graphs. It looks like gold is sitting in Magnus Opus' favor, although it's not too much of a lead. Meanwhile, Sato and Meepo just coming in on this kill on Darkseer again. They get another kill, and the XP lead's already in their favor, and it's going to dip farther and farther in that direction. So Magnus getting caught out by 2, but the shockwave nearly halving both of them. They're going in saying, you're in the wrong neighborhood. And Magnus turning right around and saying, nope. It looks like he's going to have a commanding point in this game. No kills, but no deaths, and picking up a lot of XP. He's halfway to his Blink Dagger. And that's after his Arcane Boots, after his battle, so we're probably going to see it up in the next 4 to 5 minutes. Maybe even less if he can start getting kills, but just like that, Rubik and Dazzle sitting in the outside. Magnus, Sven, all he has to do is get that stun off. It looks like Dazzle's going to be the first one to show his face. He's going to get the Shadow Wave off. Poison Touch, rather. And Triad's going to back up. Sven needs to initiate in this fight. So he's got the most reliable stun out of all of them. Well, other than Rubik's, but his stun got a radius, got a range. I'm not sure what its range is. Doesn't show the range. Well, we're seeing the range right now. We're looking at the range. Whereas Rubik... Oh, that is the range. 225 versus 325. So yeah, it looks like Rubik actually can initiate a lot better than the Sven can. So Rubik should be doing more. I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with the tooltip. Sven, he's doing 97 damage right now. All right, Trian's doing 109, but Sven has an ultimate, which boosts his strength or boosts his damage 100%. So he's doing double that. Without abilities, okay. Thanks for the clarification. TP support's coming in top. They want to go in on the Treant, but it's not going to work. Instead, Magnus, he wants Flood. He goes in, gets a single man RP. But all Sven has to do is pop his ultimate. And he gets the stun out, but the overgrowth doing plenty of damage. And then the shallow grave, the ultimate coming out. But then the ultimate, dropping the rock, the chaotic offering, doing plenty of damage. That's a double kill for Renegade as the one cleave swipe. Doing enough to take them both out. And bring in Sano and Meepo up 2 more kills. And the gold grab, it was in favor of Magnus Opus, but now it's hardly that. Wall Brewman farming up rather efficiently in the bottom. He's 400 away from Broadsword. He's going to have Battle Fury up rather soon. And it looks like Tier 1 tower for Magnus Opus has been forfeit.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
And all this extra gold, giving Jakiro the extra boost he needs for those arcane boots. So a lot of good team fight now out from Magnus for Sano and Meepo. And it looks like Magnus trying to take out a stack, but getting hurt badly in the process. He's gonna just skew on away.
Radiant's middle
Oh
tower
man.
is under attack.
So it looks like Magnus Opus, they had plenty of time to rotate their supports in. Plenty of time. I mean, you had Darkseer in the bottom lane, you had Dazzle, only one that was there, but if the Rubik had been there, he could have stolen the RP. I don't know if he's level 6 yet, though. No, he's not level 6, so he could have been in there, lifted, dropped, and it would have helped out. But they're going to turn this right out on Sano and Meepo. No, the overgrowth comes out, and the skewer away. Sven doing as much damage as he can, but he's going to try to dive on a tower. No, it's going to be Weaver, the one to dive, and he's too far out. He's going to take a tower hit and a shockwave, enough to take him out. Have no fear. Living up to his reputation and biting him in the butt. Looks like TP's coming in from Jakiro. They want to keep the pressure on this top lane. Magnus Opus trying again. But the ice path,
Dire's bottom
too
tower
much.
is under attack.
And the Sven sitting really low. Shadow Wave bringing him back up. This top lane going absolutely disastrously for the Radiant side. Looks like the skewer in. Say no to Meepo. Claiming another. And the shockwave. Enough to give Dracula a killing spree. Giving him 3-0 right now. Got his Blink Dagger. 17 minutes. He's going to be blinking around the map. Landing those RPs. And Magnus Opus. They really got to think long and hard about what they've got to do. Sven pulling out the extra hand of Midas early. He's picking up his BKB soon, but 2 ultimates that stun through the BKB. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. A little bit of battle sharing to give him the regen rune. I've got a little, some good teamwork coming out, filling the bottle and giving Sven full health in the process. They might be trying to flank. They're actually going to go in on the Phantom Assassin. They want to take her out. With her mischance, though, she might be a little bit hard to take out. They got the ultimate, and they're going to go in, doing plenty of damage. She's going to try a TBL, but it's not going to work. One more auto attack, and it's going to come in from the Weaver. And the PA goes down. Teleports support coming in, but a little bit too late. Dazzle out alone in the jungle, going to get caught out by the Treant Protector. But Dazzle too fast. And Treant gonna let that one get away. Never one to really move fast. Little bit higher movement speed. But all in all, he comes out to 396 while the Dazzle is actually moving faster, so. Some question coming out from Andon. Do I plan on getting a co-caster? I plan on eventually having a co-caster to work with me. But in time being, I need to find someone that can work around my schedule and someone that I can speak with. And right now, I've not had too much luck. But it's a long process. As the season moves on, I expect that it's going to happen eventually. But for right now, I'm not rushing into anything. My voice does hurt a lot right now, so I feel like it'll be a good little change to have. So tier 1 tower and the crosshairs of St. Meepo. They're going to go right on into this. And they're going to pull it down. So even though it looks like one-man RP coming out on the Darkseer, but that's not enough. They end up dropping the Chaotic Offering on top of that. Darkseer goes down. Shallow Grave coming down on the Dazzle. Sven sending out a stun on the Phantom Assassin, but no, not really catching out any. The Blink in the Ice Path, and the Sven's gonna drop. So it's a 2 for 1. 2 for 2 as Weaver diving behind and pulling out the Phantom Assassin. So not too terribly of a trade. Not too terribly at all. Unfortunately though, tier 2 mid gonna go down the process. Still, they do have Glyph, but I don't feel like they need should waste it. And yes, I say waste because right now, if they use it, it delays for a few seconds, but that tower is still going down. There's nothing they can do about it. So let's take a quick look at the leads. Sado and Meepo taking a commanding lead in both effects. The net worth, Sven's still on top, but not really showing it. He's getting focused down, not really doing too much in these team fights. Last hits denies, quite high. Hero levels, Magnus is sitting high, followed by the Sven, followed by the Weaver, and then the Phantom Assassin. Oh, Sven looks like picking up the broadsword. I imagine he's going for crits, but that could be a Battle Fury. Could be either one. Still, I think crits are more likely in this scenario. Let's take a quick look at some other items here. Dazzle, not too much at the moment. A Soul Ring out on Darkseer. Salvatin on the Rubik, not too much. Just not enough on Magnus OP to do much. Meanwhile, say no to Meepo. Has the Battle Fury, almost got the BKB on the Phantom Assassin. Magnus got Blink, almost got his Refresh's Orb. Jakiro got Arcane Boots, and Warlock getting dangerously close to that Aghanim Scepter. So all 3 tier 1 towers down on the Dire side and 1 tier 2. Meanwhile, nothing down on the Radiant side. So tower advantage is sitting pretty well in favor of Seino to Meepo, as well as both Gold and XP. And just taking a quick look at overall stats right now, and we see just commanding leads from the Radiant. But Sven's still hanging in there, doing what he needs to do, taking that hard carry role quite seriously. And if this game goes past 40 minutes and the Sven can do sufficient damage, possibly get an MKB or something like that to counter the PA, and just continue popping out those ultimates, doing plenty of damage, the Daedalus to boost up your crits. He's already got the Crystallis. He could be a big issue. Of course, he is getting focused out right now, so it's not really showing, but 23 minutes to have a Crystallis. That's not too terrible, despite your team being in a position where it is. So go so far as to say that Sven is right now one of the better carries I think I've seen, despite his team being down 10-2. So, and all in all, the leads are there, but they're both 5k. They're quite manageable at this point. Dracula looks to try to catch out, Have No Fear, and Mustache, but they're going to back off. He didn't have RP to drop there if he wanted to, and it probably would have netted both kills. But instead, he opts not to go for it, to wait for a bigger team fight. And Treon Protector, with the Empower, doing cleave on 160 damage. Regen Rune picked up by Jakiro. Phantom Assassin getting ever closer to a BKB. So it looks like Weaver is sitting far in the enemy jungle. The pings are coming out. Magnus spots him. He knows he spots him. But they don't do anything. No real aggression coming out on him. They're all blinking. They're all blinking hard. There's 4 waiting, though. A choice blink from the Magnus. And this could be trouble. He's got it. He's got 3 in close proximity. The 5th coming in. We've only yet to see where this team fight's going to go. And I'm calling it right now. If the RP comes off, it's going for Seino to Meepo. If it doesn't, though, Magnus OP have a big chance. And Sven, 750 gold away from that Daedalus. They shouldn't take a fight right now. They really shouldn't try to take a fight. They need to get the farm on the Sven, do as much as they can. The Ancients are getting stacked, so really work on getting that Sven to get his Daedalus up. And once that Daedalus is up, oh, he could have Hanamitis. He could have gone after the siege creep and Hanamitis that one creep, accelerating the farm. It's inconsequential right now as he picks it up on the next creep. He's almost got it. He's going for it really soon, and that Daedalus is going to really help. He's going to go on this Ancient stack next.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Once the Daedalus comes out, it's going to be absurd. If Sven can stay away from those stuns, stay away from the ult, stay out of the RP, stay out of the chaotic offering, not only is he going to be doing a ton of damage, as I say that, it looks like Magnus going in, skewing Dazzle away. That's going to give him plenty of time to walk away, and the stun comes out from the Sven, saving him right for a small time. The Shallow Grave doing plenty of work as they go ahead and counter-initiate. Weaver staying in but getting caught up by the Ice Path, and the Dual Breath hidden on point. And Rubik taking the Dual Breath, so they're going to have that in pocket for the next fight. Magnus picking off the stack, and that's his Daedalus right there. So Daedalus coming in with 200% damage. That plus crit. I'll ask my stats man to do the math out, but that's a lot of damage. I'm guessing around, what, 1100 in the crit. total guess, but that's enough to nearly have, with resistances, more than half any of these heroes. And on 50%, 65% cleave from his passive, Great Cleave. That's a lot of damage, guys. That's a lot of damage. It's only going to get more as time goes on. So we see all 5 from Say No to Meepo grouping in. They don't have the support yet. They have the TP from the Weaver to come in. It looks like the stun going off in the ultimate, but the Ice Path taking him out. No, he's got the BKB. He nearly one-shots that Warlock and the Phantom Assassin. It looks like the Shadowgrave keeping the Dazzle alive as Sven goes in and takes out the Jakiro on the back foot. And Sven walking into that Magnus. No, they're gonna go straight for Roche. And I was completely wrong. 1758 with the ulti. I don't know what they're doing. They shouldn't. Say No to Meepo need to back off. They've lost this fight. No, they're gonna turn around and pick up. No, they're not gonna pick up the Rubik. And the Skewer out. They're still going on this. It's only 2. The stun coming out, and it looks like the Magnus is next. He doesn't have blink. He's taking too much damage. He's got 1 second. He's gonna blink away. And Sven taking the Aegis and picking up in a blip. No, that's the Magnus. Sven instead getting the Aegis of the Immortal, and probably gonna pick up the Satanic next. That was absolutely dirty. Absolutely dirty. As Sven goes in and shows the Phantom Assassin that not only is she not the only one with crits, but her crits are absolutely inferior. It's like driving up in a 1988 Corolla trying to get in a road race with a brand new Stang. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. No matter how many of you are there, and sorry my voice is cracking, I've been talking a lot, but no matter how many of you are there, it's not gonna happen. Sven only gonna get more and more out of control from here as he takes out the Ancient Stack. And he's sitting dangerously close. If he wants to pick up the Reaver, he can pick it up. He's going to go in. He's going to find the Treant Protector. Doesn't have enough mana for ulti, but instead doing plenty of damage. Doing plenty even without his ultimate. The Daedalus. Just so much. Unfortunately, the double damage getting sniped out under his feet. So this is sitting really on a knife edge. PA. Gotta get her farm up. Gotta get her damage up. Get that level 3 ulti out as fast as possible. And then build up damage. Because as of right now, this Sven's gonna walk right on over you. It looks like Courier. What's the Courier bringing to him? Got the Reaver. Got the Satanic. This is it, guys. This is it. Magnus OP right now are at the strongest they've ever been. I won't say the strongest they'll ever be, as Magnus is still Azer Veneer is still 5 levels away from 25, and still got an extra inventory spot, 2 rather, to use on anything he wants. We're just gonna have to wait. They need to push. They're gonna push, and they're gonna do it hard. Still wary of those RPs, as they can give it up right now. Yeah, Magnus without ultimate is doing as much in the crit as PA is doing. And PA needs to be the one who snipes off multiple heroes. But right now, she's little more than a watered down Sven with a blink. And it looks like Sven gonna go right on in, but he's taking too much damage. He still has Aegis being reclaimed in 2.5 minutes. He's got plenty of time. He's gonna come right on back. RP's been wasted. And Say No to Meepo's gotta scatter. Overgrowth coming out with the BKB being dropped and the stun. If he pops ultimate, he does, and he's taking out that PA. So much damage coming out He's doing so much with a double kill and one hit. Unstoppable with a triple kill. And that's tier 2 going down mid. And he's not done. He's hungry for more. Tier 1 down. Tier 2 down. Ice Path completely off the mark. And they're going to go for tier 3 and maybe Rax.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Another Ice Path down. Sven got his stun back up if he wants to do it, but instead they're gonna go straight for tower. And if he feels like he's in a bad position, he goes ahead, stuns, pops Satanic, and you've got full health. And there it is, full health completely, and a dead Magnus on top of that. And right now, Sven at the top of his game, level 21. Got everything going for him. He's going for an MKB next. This is just icing on the cake against this PA. One stun. Overgrowth out. But really, what else? What else does he got? He's got a corpse. And the BKB out for the PA, but she's got nothing. A little bit of lifesteal, but Sven, way too much. And they got Rax. They can just go for the GG right here, guys. They can go straight for tier 4s, but instead, they back off. Sven only going to get stronger from this point on. I wouldn't put it past him to pick up a Demon Edge. Just go straight Divine Rapier. I honestly think it'd be incredibly stupid, but I wouldn't put it past him. Well, he picks up the Demon Edge, but instead goes for the MKB. So he's going damage, but in a different respect. He's hitting for 300 damage. 370 damage without ultimate. 912 crits without ultimate. My God. My God. Say no to Meepo. Really got to work on this game. They got to get that RP out. They got to get that 5-man RP. Follow it instantly with an Ice Path. Get the PA to burst down that Sven. And then you've got the team fight. Until that happens, you've got nothing. You've got nothing against a Sven who's averaging 2,300 damage per second. You got nothing. And they're going to drop the rock, and just look. It's doing nothing. Dropping the rock, overgrowth. It looks like PA not even focusing the Sven. They're just letting it happen. One crit, one kill, taking out the Warlock, and nothing fell at. And the PA trying to do what she can. But that crit doing way too much, and the PA gonna fall straight on her face. The Sven still alive, still got Satanic. And he's picking up an ultra kill. Any chance of a comeback? Well, let's look. Guys, I'm putting it right on out here, and I'm saying it's Mag OP's game. I'm saying it's their game. Because right now, even if they get that RP out, even if they get the Ice Path, the PA simply is not doing enough damage versus a Sven who at his max got 31 armor and can have a BKB charge right after that, pop Satanic, get himself back up to full health, and then hit for enough crits to pull you under. It's not enough, guys. It's not enough. And I think Magnus, say no to Meepo, fell out when, even though they had the advantage, they failed to realize that that Sven was sitting on his own, farming. He had the highest CS in the game and still does. Which, I mean, it's common against a Phantom Assassin, but highest CS in the game on top of an early Midas. Even though he didn't get any kills in his lane, he didn't get ganked nearly enough. And that was it. That was enough. It looks like the stun coming on the PA, making her waste a BKB. Looks like Magnus RP does come out. He needs to get him into the fountain right now, but he can't. The overgrowth protecting him. And it's Mega Creeps. It's been Mega Creeps. It has been Mega Creeps. And all the caught in the sun. One hit, one kill. It's an ultra kill. He's going in for more. He's going in for the rampage. And that's it. That's it. All 5 down for Sano to Meepo.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Tier 4 is down.
Radiant's middle tower.
And Sir Rabbit Koala giving credit where credit's due. Ancient. Pop, 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 pop. Taking way too much damage. And there it goes, guys. This has been Chicago Ted casting the action-packed Magnus OP versus Sano to Meepo. Thank you for joining me this late at night. I thank you so much. Thanks a lot to my co-caster, my statsman, Sir Rabbit Koala. Thanks to Kare for fixing up my stream for me. Sven OP. Couldn't have said it better myself, guys. I'll see you next game I cast.